Welcome to the Art Lady's home. Today I'm going to show you how I built this little backyard retreat. It's actually called a spool, which is a mini swimming pool. The first thing I did was I had this tree removed here, and then we went ahead and planned out our design, and I basically used my setback limits as the shape of the pool because my backyard was so small. And I did a little sketch first in watercolors just to kind of see what it would look like. And then we went ahead, after planning was approved, we started the dig. This is the first day, removing the bushes and then actually the tree stump. And then the guys came back the next day and started plotting out the pool with wood, and they actually started the dig on day 2. Here's the framing of the pool, and then they started on the wall, which is going to be a waterfall wall, and it also provides a little privacy from the neighbors. This is some of the dig. You can see it's really small. It goes about under 12 feet from the actual sunroom. It comes out from the house, which was my setback limits. And you can see how it wraps around the corner of the house. And it's between 3 and 4 feet from the actual edge of my house. So the pool comes up quite close to the house. And again, it was all minimums that we had to work with. You know, we weren't allowed to go any closer, or it wasn't suggested that we go closer. And I wouldn't want anything closer than 3 feet either. This is the view from the street. You can see I have a tiny backyard. And this is the view from the hot tub area. And here in front here, this is going to be a beach area. This is the second set of steps in the corner of the house. That's just some views of the rebar. We had to do double rebar on the back wall because it will be supporting the screen room. And then here you can see they're adding more rebar. And then we finally started the concrete. So they're starting to use actually it's the Gunite, and they're spraying the Gunite here. This was an amazing team. Every worker was so amazing. They just did a great job, and they were patient with me. I stood and watched. I believe it was, they were here till 8 o'clock. So I want to say from 2 to 8. This was their second job of the day. They were an amazing crew who just made the curves of the pool beautiful, and great craftsmanship here. It reminded me of like a little mini castle, sand castle, when they were done with it. I just thought it was adorable the way they did it. And it's so beautiful, like the curves of this beach area. I was really pleased with the way they came out. And so clean. All of the edges were clean and crisp, and they were amazing. Just a beautiful job. We waited for it to cure, and I recommend not rushing in and having your tile started right away. You've got to let this cure enough so that everything can set, and we did, because we ended up having some problems, and so it had plenty of cure time. But this is the view inside the pool looking up, and we just got some beautiful shapes, which I was very pleased with. This is the sample for the tile, and then the stone that's going to go on the back wall. And I was deciding if I wanted to do the whole wall or part of the wall. And so after they finished the plumbing, they were going to start on that. And you can see here they're tearing up the backyard to stick in plumbing. They plumbed my hot tub, and I had a ton of extra jets put in my hot tub, and I customized my hot tub so that it can reach areas that I would like 2 upper back and 1 lower, and down your spine here. You can see the 2 on the spine. This is the first day for tile. They had to coat it with a some kind of a cement mortar mix or some kind of a top coat. So it's that all that white was the coating before they put the tile on. And this was day 1 of tile. There was 1 man working on the tile. And this is after day 2. And the tile, I wasn't really thrilled at first about the color of the tile. Not until the water was actually filled that I really started liking the tile. It looks pretty here in the sun as it sparkles, but when you just look straight on, it doesn't give a lot of sparkle. And the water really helps bring out the iridescence of my tile. So I am very pleased with my tile choice. Just in the very beginning, it kind of looked dull because the water wasn't there. Here it is after they framed out the deck. They poured the deck and did all the cantilevers right here. And this was probably a day or 2 after they poured it. We were able to walk on it. And once that's cured, then they did a texture coating. You can see here the texture was sprayed on. And then I actually did the painting of it, the acrylic, and then the sunroom was started. So as soon as my acrylic was done, we did the sunroom. And I did 1 coating of the acrylic, and then after they finished the sunroom, you do the 2nd coat. Or actually after the plaster, I did the 2nd coat. But here they are working on the sunroom. And the guys had a little bit of trouble with the sunroom because, first of all, everything was in funny angles. So we had a lot of angles to my pool, so the sunroom was more difficult, but also weather. There was a lot of rain, and half days they had to work because it was during our rainy season we put up the pool. But they did a great job too. That was a great team of guys. This is before they finished it completely, but I was excited to get some pictures of the outside. They recommended using this Rust-Oleum product. This is the touch-up paint. So if you have a screen room and need to touch up yours, that's the brand that they use. Here is the plumbing. So once the pool was plumbed and ready to go, then we could start on our plaster. And the plaster I chose was a custom blend of Jewelscapes, the NPT Jewelscapes. And I used an iolite formula, and then I tweaked it by adding more of the cobalt and the ice blue. And the guys that did the plaster were amazing. They worked, I believe it took about an hour.
Wow, that's the clear bead going in now. Wow. So cool.
Those are your diamonds, and now comes the pearls.
Okay, there's white. I like that. I like your analogy. Diamonds and pearls.
I tell you what.
That's cool.
Which ones are those?
That was 1,500 pounds of glass beads. And the pool finish actually really makes the whole swimming pool. Because the pool was so small, I was able to afford the Jewelscape finish, and I'm so glad I did. And this team of 5 guys, they worked 5.5 hours to plaster the pool, and they did a great job. It's just perfect. It came out beautiful, and it was a really cool process to watch. Here they are washing off what they call the cream, which is the blue water down at the bottom. And then after it's all done, they come back the very next day and acid wash it. And then it forms that froth that you can see at the bottom of the pool here. And he's pouring it from a watering can, and then it kind of fuzzes up. It smells horrible too. You have to stand away from it, but it was really kind of cool to watch him do this as it fluffs up, and that just kind of polishes. It takes off any leftover
like
residue
bath
of plaster, and then he gets it ready to fill
Like
it. So
lava
he's
flow.
acid washing the pool first, and then he instantly, after he rinses it all down, he starts to fill the pool here.
That's an airboat. I can hear it go by. Can you hear it? Yeah. Every once in a while we hear them.
And here is the completed finish on the pool. And I call it Smurf Blue because it looks like the Smurf color. But it blends beautifully with the glass tile. And that's the most important part, is you want it to blend nice. And here it is I'm filling the pool. It took 10.5 hours to fill the pool. And I believe from the water bill it said I used 9,000 gallons because I used my separate irrigation hose for that. So it was probably a little under if I had used the irrigation hose for various things around the house, but it was pretty much, I saved it for the pool fill. And here's the steps. It is very difficult to see, so if you're going to be doing a dark colored Jewelscape, I'd recommend having more of these little bright tiles on the edge. I didn't want to put strips of tile because I didn't want to detract from the gorgeous jewel finish, but I wish that I did that now because it's very hard to see my steps. Here at the front,
pool right after it's
closest to us is the beach shelf, which is 10 inches of water.
To fill this.
And then it gradually goes from, I believe, like 3.5 feet,
first
and then it goes down to
sunlight
5.5 feet.
Right here.
This is the actual plant shelf.
What's really amazing is the tile didn't have this gorgeous sparkle until the water was filled. It brought out it's a type of a iridescent. I don't know if you can see it or not, but having the water in it enhanced this sparkle on the tile. The iridescence, which I didn't see before. Right there.
The beads feel smooth to touch. They're soft. They feel soft to your feet. It's not rough like a plaster would be when you rub your hand or your toes or your foot on the bottom of the pool. It's a nice, beautiful, smooth, like touching glass. They did a great job, so there's no rough areas. it's flush with, they're all flush and flat with the pool. This is the backyard, what was left after we leveled out everything. And I went ahead and did the grass myself. Actually, my son and I did it together. After we leveled this out here, we put in 2 little ovals of grass. So we cleared the area first and then did it was a beautiful variety of azoya. We live in Florida, so we used azoya grass, which is like the grass that you use on your golf courses, or that people use on golf courses. So you keep it pretty short, and it grows so very slowly here. That's the view back there. And we're still working on the gravel and the path. We're going to put some stone on. But this is the pool at night with the LED lights. And the pool has LED lights. The 2 bubblers in the front and the waterfall are all LED lights. And you can change the lights to, like, I think 10 or 12 different colors, or you can have them rotate, or they can go to red, white, and blue if you do a 4th of July party. They can rotate there. This is the Pentair waterfall strip, and it's 4 feet. And then below that was a little swim out. Here you can see the beautiful curves of the shelf with the 2 steps coming down. That's the shelf is like a beach shelf. The lights are really amazing, and at night, my neighbors say that it looks like I'm having a disco party or something from a distance, because they kind of glow. It makes my whole house glow. It is really beautiful, though, and it's fun to change the colors. We love it. But there's the bubblers on the beach shelf, and I can adjust the pump. I have a 2-speed pump, so I can adjust with my remote control, because everything is connected to the remote control. I can go ahead and adjust the flow rate if I want them to flow up high, like you see here, or I can, if you want it quieter, you can turn down the waterfall. The waterfall's pretty loud. These bubblers on the front here are soft sounding. They don't, they're just a mellow sound. Sometimes the waterfall is too overpowering, but here they are. You can see close up here, and I just love it all. I think it's really cool, and I like the lights on the bubblers too. The lights are really fun, and they change just like my waterfall and pool light. And then I did install the planters. I started planting, and then I did install an umbrella hook. Now I do have to finish the planters, so once that's done, it'll be complete. But I hope you enjoy my project, and I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel.